How much is my Xbox 360 collection worth? Is it worth a small fortune? Or is it just worth a few pence? So I have exactly 200 Xbox 360 games here on the shelves behind me. And it's a real mixed bag of games. So there are some really cheap games in the collection, like sports titles, FIFA, for example. There are some kind of like in-between games at £10, like Tenchu Z. And then there are some, not many, but a couple of big hitters, like Lollipop Chainsaw. So I guess the easiest way to do this is I've got the CEX app on my phone, and I'm going to work through every single game, starting at the end of the collection down here at W, and working my way back through all the way up until A. What I'll do is I'll scan the barcode in on the CEX app, and the value we're going to go for what CEX sell it for. Now I know people will say, well, that's not the true value because A, if you sold the collection as a whole, you wouldn't get anywhere near that. B, I wouldn't probably get that price. CEX over other price things because they're a store and they offer a warranty, etc. But look, I'm never going to sell the collection, so I don't care too much. I just want to know, if I were to walk down to CEX today and buy all these games, how much would they cost me? And just a caveat, we'll only be scanning in the games on the shelves here. We won't be including any consoles, special editions, or accessories. So just before we get started, also because I'm quite competitive, I thought it'd be good for myself to have a little kind of guesstimate to what all these 200 games are going to be worth. And I'm going to guess £800. And that's just based on, I reckon £4 a game. I was going to go for £5 a game at £1,000. But I think £4 a game, just because there are a lot of titles in here. I'm just looking at these FIFAs which keep catching my eye, are all like 50p games. So yeah, I'm going £800 minimum, £1,000 max. I think it'll fall somewhere in between that area, and I guess I'd be fairly happy with that. Let me know in the comments down below, before you watch the rest of the video, what you think the collection is going to be worth, all 200 games. So I'm going to get myself a brew, and then I'm going to start scanning. Okay, so let's get started on section number 1, working on these 50 games here. Fun fact, I actually got this game last week and I 100%ed it, got all the achievements. Really easy 100% if you're an achievement hunter. It takes about 6-7 hours, and it's actually quite fun as well. Okay, so I do have 2 copies of Skate 3 on the shelf. I've tried to keep as many duplicates out of the shelves as I can. All my duplicates are away behind the camera, but there are a few on there, so the ones that are on there, I'm going to scan twice. None of them are worth too much. I think the most are a couple of the Call of Duty games, which are like £6 or £7 a game. So there we go. Resident Evil 6 completes the first 50 games of the collection. Add up to my basket, and CEX is showing that these 50 games are worth, or they cost at least at CEX, £167.50p to buy. Now obviously, based on my prediction or my estimate of £800 for all 200, that would mean £200 the shelf, so this one does fall below that. It works out at like £3.20 or something, I'm guessing. Just over £3 a game, that, for 50 games. Which is pretty mad, really, because there are some good titles in here. There are some titles that are over the £10 mark. The Amazing Spider-Man and Tenchu Z are the main 2. Probably, and then a couple early on as well of Xbox games. I've got Bully up here. It's just crazy that these games are averaging at £3 a game. So yeah, let's move on to section 2 now. Okay, so the first 50 is done. Now off we go to the second 50. So the orange box, one of the more expensive games. This is only 15 at the moment. It was 18 and people online were saying it's going to go up to like 30, 40 pounds. But yeah, it's come back down to 15 at the moment. Still a good price and a really good game. Definitely would recommend this one if you're playing the Xbox 360 in 2025. Baller's Chosen 1. This is a game that if you have watched my recent Xbox 360 games that I think are going to go up in value, I included this one on there. At the time of making that video, this game was, I think it was £5 or £6. It's now 15, and the last time I checked, there were only like 5 in stock across the country. So yeah, watch that video up here somewhere in the link, and I would recommend picking this one up sooner rather than later. And the last two games are Halo 3 and Halo 3 ODST. And that takes shelf number 2, which was helped massively by Lollipop Chainsaw, which is £45. It takes shelf number 2 up to £288.50p. So over £100 more for this set of 50 compared with this set of 50. Now, I can't do the quick maths, but I think that means that between these two, that is something like £440-ish. So, based on my estimate of £800 for the lot, we are halfway through, and our budget, or our prediction, is over halfway through already. So let's move on to shelf number 3. Okay, so section 3 now. Let's crack on. Annoyingly, loads of these Guitar Hero games are not for resale on the back, which means I can't scan them in. I've got to literally search for the game, add it to the basket that way. And then on to the FIFAs now. And I think this one's actually worth like £3, but the rest of them are like 50p games. This game is actually sealed. It's Fable The Journey. And yeah, this is a sealed copy. I think it's worth nothing. But yeah, sealed game. And last but not least, Digimon All-Star Rumble, which is the most expensive game on this shelf, I think. Or was it Guitar Hero's Greatest Hits? I don't know. This is clocking in today at £20. So yeah, I think this was up to £30 at one point. And that takes this shelf number 3, up to £210. So they're starting down here at a low amount, and then we moved across. We had a high amount, now 210, which is pretty much bang on what I was expecting at about £4 a game. Slightly less, I don't know. Something around £4, 10 a game or something. Around that price. Okay, so we're up to shelf number 4 now, and the final 50 games. Let's crack on and find out what the total value of my 360 collection is. Okay, so I can't actually find this game on CEX, so I'm just going to add in £1.50 for the sake of things. I have looked on eBay in the past, and I know it doesn't go for a lot, so yeah, £1.50, let's put that in. Okay, so with James Bond 007, that is the last game of this shelf and the last game scan of the collection. I'm not going to tell you this second what this shelf was worth. Let's switch back to the OSC and let's total up all of the games together. Okay, so there we go. 200 games scanned, all the games in my collection scanned into the CEX app, and the prices were as follows. So the first 50 games, which were actually the last 50 alphabetically, came in at £167.50p. The second set of 50 games was the most expensive. They came in at £288.50p. The third set, which is just set up here, which had the FIFAs in, came in at £210 exactly. And in the final set, so the first of the alphabet, the first 50 games in the collection, A to I think it was D in the alphabet, came in at £135.50p. And that gives us a grand total of £801.50p, which miraculously is almost exactly my prediction at £4 a game. It's just slightly over. So yeah, £1.50 more. What does this mean? Nothing really. It means absolutely nothing. And like I said at the start of the video, I'm not going to be selling this collection anytime soon. In fact, I'm going to be adding to it over the coming months and years, and the 360 remains my favourite console to collect for. But yeah, just a fun little experiment really. Obviously I've been collecting for this console for a number of years now. Most of the games I do pick up at CEX and things like that. Charity shops, 360 games are in there a lot. And also when I picked up consoles, so console bundles like this Halo one behind me, they usually come, if you get them on Marketplace or Vinted, they'll come with 5 or 6 games. So the 360 collection is really easy to just build up nice and quickly. And yeah, I suppose if you wanted to go into CEX today and buy all the games I've got, it would cost you £801.50p. Thank you for watching. Please do subscribe and hit the bell icon. That would be massively appreciated to help my channel grow so much. And keep gaming.